Hey guys, welcome on in. It's your boy Josh. We're gonna talk a little portal here. This isn't like anything super in depth. This is not a comprehensive review of what all Louisville's doing in the portal. This just is gonna kind of serve as a primer, if that makes sense. So just a few little names that have entered so far, what directions I think they're gonna go. If you want to see a more in-depth show or just some more in-depth like spring game coverage, check out Cards Companion on Twitter. We'll be doing a few different shows this week, and I think the plan as of now is two shows, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. Tuesday's probably going to be returning to our typical form of space-based content, whereas Thursday will be more of our traditional recorded content. So just a couple of ground rules, couple of things I want to set in place before we get talking about the portal too much. And I'm sorry if I'm looking down. I got notebooks and laptops and everything right in front of me. I've been really kind of working at this recently. It's kind of that time of the year. So there's a couple positions I think Louisville will go after. I think right now at a baseline, you're going to really go after a tight end. You're probably going to go for about two wide receivers, maybe some secondary guys. There's no maybe. There definitely some cornerbacks specifically, and then maybe some offensive line guys, depending on some more entries. That's the direction I think you're going to go. I think realistically, it's not going to be a super big portal class like we're typically used to out of the winter portal. I think you're really only going to go for, 5 to 8 guys maybe. And all that's very pending on, who leaves and how many people leave, whatnot, because it's a fluid situation. As of now, we have one guy that's left. It's Austin Collins. Which is kind of came as a surprise to me, to be completely honest. I liked Austin. I thought he was a really good player. He's been a really good guy at filling in roles at Louisville. He's played a lot across the entire offensive line. So I was a little surprised to see him leave, but if I'm not mistaken, he was dealing with shoulder injury through spring. Don't know if he played in the spring game, to be completely honest. But when you bring in multiple starter caliber guys on the offensive line in the winter portal, these things are going to happen. You're going to lose guys in the spring portal. That's just kind of how this works. You bring guys in, you lose guys. It's a two-way street. It's not a one-way transactional. I know some people think it is, but the portal takes and it gives. We've been very fortunate with taking from the portal. For as long as the portal's been on, we haven't had very many like big losses out of the portal, I would argue. Hopefully, that continues and we can continue to make ground on the portal. For wide receivers, let's just start off there. I know that's the one that everyone's kind of clamoring for right now. There needs to be some help in the room. It's just it's the sad truth of the situation. You have Colin Lacey. I'll still argue it to this day. He's a top 25 wide receiver in the country. McWilliams showed out really well. He's really impressed a lot of people during the spring game and during spring practices. Chris Bell is Chris Bell. And behind that, there's some guys in the room, but they're all either very young or very inexperienced at this level. And that's not a knock on the guys. It's just sometimes we have to have a little more of that proven production. Wide receiver's been a weird position group so far for the portal. So the portal, it doesn't officially open until the 16th. I just want to throw that out there for everyone. But you do have guys declaring to enter. If they're a grad transfer, they could have entered whenever they wanted. If they're coming off of Stanford's roster, they can enter 30 days after Troy Taylor was fired. And then I believe there was like a MAC school that fired their coach also recently. Same thing for that. They could have entered. But outside of that, it's just a lot of guys, mainly underclassmen, declaring to enter. So they're just saying, hey, I will be entering. So yeah, not a whole lot of like very worthwhile additions to the wide receiver in the portal, in my opinion, in the past few days. And I don't mean that offensively. And it will pick up. It will pick up once the portal opens after this weekend. I'm going to go on that whole spiel later. But yeah, as of now, just a couple of guys I've highlighted. Emmett Mosley, Stanford wide receiver. The name may sound familiar. He absolutely torched us last year. He's an underclassman also, had about 500 yards. He would play very well as a rotational wide receiver here. I would really keep an eye out on him. From my understanding, Texas is also heavily pursuing him. So if it were me, I'd go after him. Just saying. Two more entries. Freddie DuBois Jr. from Texas. He's a former 3-star. He's also an underclassman. Didn't didn't see the field at all at Texas, just being very honest with you. Didn't even really see very many like meaningful practice snaps. But former high 3-star kid, it's a good way to kind of supplement your high school recruiting, something that we talk about a lot on Cards Companion. And really good measurables. It's another guy, if you want to go a rotational direction with like that wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 role, it's a good guy to bring in. And then another guy is Jaquiz Smith from Missouri State. He, redshirt junior, really good measurables. Had a pretty good year last year down in the FCS. Just is leaving the program. He's from Atlanta. Kid I could see us kind of getting involved with. He's played quite a bit of college football, has some pretty good film, has pretty good stats, has pretty good measurables. It would make sense for everything that we've seen from this staff. So yeah, that's wide receivers. Like I said, not a whole lot in the portal yet. Give it a little while. It'll start to, build up. But those are 3 guys I would personally take a look at. And then the next one, we're going to a little position here we're going to talk about. Let's talk about some secondary. And I'm sorry, like I said, I know I'm looking down a lot, but I got all my notes and stuff right here in front of me. So sorry. Secondary is a little more wide open. Okay. A lot more guys that have entered, and it's just kind of the way it is. Certain position groups enter more than others. Secondary help, I could realistically see you taking 2, maybe 3 cornerbacks. You need some depth in that position room for sure, and you might need some like starting in talent. So we'll see where they go. But I got quite a few guys highlighted here, so I'm just going to go through them pretty quickly. John Nestor, he's cornerback from Iowa. He entered a long time ago. I think he entered back in, what is this? Back in on March 30th, he entered. And again, underclassman, hasn't played very much. Iowa was really upset to lose him. He was set to start this year. Really good film, practice film that's out there on YouTube and stuff. Good measurables. He could easily fit in here. Another one is from Furman, Jalen Mosoon. He's pretty cool. He was all Furman SoCon. He was a all SoCon freshman last year. 21 tackles, 3 pass breakups, interceptions in just the last 5 games. He's a guy, could transfer up. Cornerback's one of those positions I feel, if you can play, you can play. We can pull guys like that from the SoCon. The next one is Clemson defensive back Tayon Fagan. Younger guy, underclassman. He was a high 4 out of a 2024 class. Hasn't really seen the field that much. Clemson. He entered the portal, I believe, right. Let me check my notes. Yeah, he entered the portal right after the Clemson spring game. And that one is one where he has all the high school accolades and whatnot, and you're really recruiting him based off that. He played sparingly in the Clemson spring game from what I read. Just a guy that it wasn't working out there. He wanted out. You never go wrong with high-level talent. And again, it keeps coming back to it. Underclassmen, supplement your high school recruiting a little bit. Next one is from Troy, LJ Green. He played a lot of football last year for Troy. He had a very high snap count. He was their starting cornerback on the weak side. He's a pretty good player. He's a pretty good player. I watched quite a bit. I'm a South Alabama fan. I watch a lot of Sunbelt football, and I've seen quite a bit of him. The stats, pretty good. He's more of a lockdown. He doesn't get the ball thrown in his direction a whole lot. It's very similar to like the Quincy Riley thing last year, where Quincy didn't have the best stats, but that's because they just didn't throw the ball his way, which is completely fine. He has 3 years of eligibility. So again, get you a good starter, supplement that recruit. I'll keep going back to it. Supplement that high school recruiting with underclassmen. He's played football. He's played meaningful football. It's pretty good. Another one we have, you guessed it, another underclassman, Gregory Smith III from Florida. He has really amazing measurables. He plays more of a safety role at Florida. At least he played more of a safety role at Florida. He's 6'4", 217, has 4 years of eligibility. Didn't play a whole lot, very sparing minutes, saw a lot of, practice time. And again, underclassmen, highly sought after out of high school. You're starting to get a trend here where I'm going with this. Supplement that recruiting, build a really good rotational ring, and we're not having to pick 1-year guys out of the portal every year. The next one we got Julian Neal. He's a cornerback from Stanford. He just entered, I believe, on the 10th, so a few days ago. Really good, really good. 247 loves the kid. They have him as number 4 cornerback in the country. He's a little bit older, I believe. He's an upperclassman. He has really good measurables, 6 foot. To 200, but that's one I would like for us to go after, but he's going to be a very hot commodity. The ranking services really love that kid. Another kid we got from Missouri, Jamorian Wayne. Again, another mid guy, just hasn't seen the field a whole lot. Former 4-star coming out of high school. He's played in 28 games, which is nice, but he just doesn't have a lot of stats. He played a lot of special teams in Missouri. Again, just a guy You're kind of just building a rotational. It's hard to find that proven, the proven stuff. But when you have things like this, you just kind of take charge and see what can happen. Another one we have a Marnie or Orion Walker. I always struggle saying that. I struggled saying that when he was in high school. But he's from Michigan. He is a very interesting prospect in my opinion. He has 2 years of eligibility, played sparingly, committed to Michigan out of high school as a wide receiver, then entered the transfer portal, committed to Ole Miss as a cornerback, entered the transfer portal, then went back to Michigan as a wide receiver. I'm not really sure what position he's going to want to play. Just reading around on like Michigan sites and talking to Michigan people, he kind of is leaning right now more towards cornerback when he's in the portals. We'll see what happens. He's played a little bit here and there, so he's been around. We'll see what happens, but that's a guy I would look into. One that I really, really like is Derek Ganter Jr. He's from Eastern Washington, a little E-dub action. He was freshman All-American last year. He's good. He's really, really, really good. 6 foot, 200 even. 95 tackles, 4 pass deflections, 1 sack, and a forced fumble last year. He's got some really, really good film. He's really, really young. He's going to be extremely sought after. 3 years of eligibility remaining. He's going to be a guy that is going to be getting a lot of phone calls. So that's kind of where we're sitting with secondary and wide receivers. We already talked about our departures, which is Austin Collins. Now, here comes kind of the hard conversation, the one that I'm not a very big fan of, and that is the tight end room. I don't mean this meanly to anyone, but I think there needs to be some very big upgrades in the tight end room. And I think that's going to be a position group that we're really, really going to target also in the portal because the room it's looking a little shaky right now. It never helps. Dylan Messman, former 4-star on roster, he's just been injured all spring. So he hasn't been getting like those great reps you want to see. Coming into the season, we kind of thought, hey, this guy, he has a chance to play a lot of football and really kind of come in his own, but he's been hindered by injury. And that could still change. You got all summer, you got fall camp. More than enough room to change that. More than enough time. Don't be worried. But I still think at this time you need to really bring in someone, and the person you need to bring in needs to be starter ready. It really stinks, and I'm sorry, I'm going to take a drink of my coffee because I've been talking for a little while here. What really stinks to me about the situation is I remember going back to the winter portal last year. We were in on like 2 really, really good tight end prospects. Max Clare, who was the best tight end in the portal. We were really in on him, and just timing-wise with not having Moss committed yet, it didn't work out. The money situation was there, but it's hard to go to a school if you don't know who the quarterback's going to be. So we missed out on him. Koisel from Ball State, if you remember, he was once committed to Louisville, and then he decommitted like 3 months later to go back to Ball State and the whole thing. He re-entered. A lot of people thought we were going to get involved with him, and it just kind of fizzled out. So we've had opportunities to bring in some solid tight ends here, and we just kind of, it was a position we kind of missed on. That's going to be a position to where I think you're going to spend a lot of money this session. So you'll find a tight end. Somehow you will find a tight end, but it's going to be a very big point of emphasis, I feel like, in this portal cycle, and you're going to find your guy. And then, so that's just kind of the 3 big position groups I'd say now is wide receiver, cornerback, and tight end. And then, the departure thing, if you have more departures, you're going to have to backfill, obviously. Right now, Collins leaving, I'm not that concerned because you were already so scholarship heavy offensive line. I don't think you just automatically bring in a guy to replace Collins. I think, if you see 1 or 2 more guys go out of the offensive line, then we start having that conversation of, okay, who are we bringing in? And that's very similar for everything. If you were to lose a running back, I think you'd bring a running back in. If you were to lose an interior D lineman, you bring one in. Departures wise for Louisville, I haven't heard very much, to be completely honest with you. But I don't really foresee a lot of guys leaving, if that makes sense. I could see a handful of guys, maybe like 3 to 4 guys, but nothing crazy. If they would have left, I feel like they would have already announced, or they could announce today. But that just kind of, that's a little wraparound. Just like I said, very, very early in this portal cycle. I mean, so early the portal's not even open. Certain positions, we got a lot of options at, like DB, and in the secondary. Other positions, like wide receiver, those options just aren't there yet, to be completely honest with you, and we'll see what happens. I believe in the past day now, there have been about 100 guys that have said, hey, I'm going to enter the portal. By the 16th, I would expect that number to be closer to 500 or 600. based off of previous trends. We'll see what happens. Brave new world. It's always a brave new world with portal recruiting. But I think they're going to get involved with a lot of guys. I think they have a lot of money to spend. I got that on pretty good authority. They're going to spend quite a bit, a pretty penny. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But it's gonna be a fun week, fun next 2 weeks. It's portal season. It's our favorite time of the year on this page. Thanks for watching along. And one thing just to kind of plug my own stuff here. So I did something a little different this year. If you guys don't know, the Cardinal Companion, we have a free Discord page that we use quite a bit. Typically, like what I'm tracking for portal wise and what I'm hearing, I don't typically post. But this year we're doing something a little different. We're posting it all, making it all public information on our Discord channel. So definitely find that, join it. You can kind of see what we're hearing and what are some realistic targets. So should be fun. Other than that though, man, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's a fun weekend. We got the Masters today ending up. We'll see if Rory can do it. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a great day. And yeah, go Cards.